Masterverse, New Eternia, Battle Armor He-Man. The old one was on clearance for $7 a few weeks ago. Decided to go get it. I've been waiting to do this, kind of thinking about how to do it. Let's get them out of the box and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now that we got them out of the box, it's funny. I did a couple shorts on this, but you can see it's funny. Before I could do a comparison, one leg is longer than the other. It's so funny. Look, and I don't have it set a certain way. It's obviously one leg is even if I put this up, I'm not trying to make it look like it's longer. One leg is longer than the other, but I don't care about that. That's the funny part. But what I plan on doing here with this one, look at this, look. He comes with this, I got him in the sword stance, and he comes with this standard battle axe. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But this here's what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about taking some of this. I bought some little pumpkins here, I'll show you. Little tiny pumpkins, this one, or this size, I don't know. Either size may work. A bigger size would be funnier. I plan on putting this, making a head sculpt, make my own head sculpt out of this. Probably not this one, but one of these here. And I'm going to cut out my own face on there and then put him up on his head. But here's a real quick comparison. I'm going to do some stuff with the armor, but here it is. Let me see here. Let me get all this off and then we'll do the comparison right now. Okay, there's a lot going on. There was a lot going on. I got it done. The direction I was going in, I got it maybe 75% there, not 100%. Meaning that what I thought what this was going to look like, it really didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to look like. But I'm happy the way it turned out. Let's just talk about the head sculpts first. I did this head sculpt first. I did some milliput and I made its teeth, and that took forever. And I carved out the eyes. You see, this is carved out. That's carved as well. But these are the cheap pumpkins I think I referenced to in the beginning of the video. I'm not sure because I made the first part of the video months ago, about a month or so ago. These are very inexpensive. You can get a bag of them for $5. They're just foam. They're not plastic. So it's somewhat of a challenge to paint these and be careful because there's no room for error. But you can see, if you can see, I'm not sure, but I went with some pastels, just like right here. I used the red, used the black, and I took a fine brush and went down each side of the pumpkin. I don't know if you can see or not on camera, but I did. It's not showing too well on camera, I don't think, at least from what I can see. Then red. But like I said, with the multi-put, these teeth took forever. I rolled each one out and put them in with a X-Acto knife, and I wanted to make lips. This one, I do not like this head sculpt. It's okay. I'm not even bother putting it on there because that's how much I don't like it. But it's here. I've done it. This is the first one, and then we'll get to this one here. Is what I'm showing you up here. The one I did over here. Let's put him in the back. So a little closer. Now, the same thing I did with this one is I went with the pastel. Not so much with the black this time, but I did with the red. I don't know if you can tell or not, but in each of the creases. But first, as the body, I went in with just some orange color from Wicked Colors Createx. And like I said, this is all carved. This is not just drawn on there. Now I can take it off. Pop it off. Nothing fancy here. Left the original headpiece in there, the head, but let me see if I can, let me back it up. There we go. So it is carved, as you can see. I think it looks kind of neat. It didn't take long. This was kind of like one of the quick things I did after doing that head sculpt because I wasn't happy with this one, with that head sculpt. So I just did it quickly. It wasn't, that big a deal, but it turned out the one I liked the most. Now with the head sculpt and the body, I used a Createx Wicked Colors. This is Pyro or whatever. Got some crazy names. I know I can't read, and I'm trying to be quickly. I don't want to take forever on this video. So orange is for the body. Let me see, let me show you here. Orange is for the body. And what I did was, I'm not sure if you can see or not as well, I went in as well with, let's show you the leg here. It's kind of, you can see where I went in with the pastels in the muscle joint, in the muscle, to highlight the muscles in the legs and arms, as you can see right here. I just went in with the cracks and creases of the muscles, the muscle tone, and the arm up here. It kind of doesn't do it justice, man. It just doesn't. So there's nothing I can really do. This camera's not the best, but I did go in with the arms and muscles and stuff, and I did use some pastel red and highlighted all the muscles where the shadows will be, but you can't see them here, unfortunately. But we're just going to keep moving. But I hope you guys get the idea. Let's see here, what's the next thing? So when it comes to the body, I wanted it to be black and orange, but obviously you can't have an opaque black, but I used the Createx black, but I started with always a Vallejo primer. I love this black primer. If I'm going to go black primer, I use Vallejo. Then after that, I went in with some black Createx paint. Any paint I do, I just prefer the Createx and the Model Air. I did all the armor in black. Then after I did that in black, I came in, let me get a little closer here, and this is what I was trying to set myself away from. I was trying to set myself away from always doing the black and then doing the armor and making it look like with the gunmetal, the dry brush, but it looks so good and works so well. I didn't do a whole lot. I kind of like minimized see, it's all up in here. I got it all down in there. I kind of minimized what I was going to do with the dry brushing when it came to the armor. Now you can't see it, but I did. You can see it here. I shaved off there's a lion's face there. I cut it off because I knew I was going to put chains on them. So the chains worked out. Like I said, the armor it can't be opaque black. It just can't, unfortunately, because it just will be just black. So after I did that and I dry brushed some of this on there, I went in immediately a couple times and gave it a dark tone wash with the Army Painter stuff. That was like 3 coats of that. Then I still wasn't happy. I really dulled down the silver to make it look black, but you really can't make it look black, if you know what I mean, because if it's opaque black, it's just black like this, like that rag, my cloth back there. It's just, there's no detail, you can't see the detail. So after I did that, I took a break and I was like, man, what am I going to do? So I went in with the cloth here. Let me get closer to the cloth. Here's the cloth. I used a brown. I got a lot of lights going on here. Probably doesn't look as, this is a little darker than it looks like right now. It's a little darker in real life. It's just like I saw the lights going on. Because if I don't have a lot of lights on it, the video kind of looks grainy. So I went in with some Model Air leather brown with his loincloth. It was black at first, and then I went and dry brushed it into the highlights. You can probably see the highlights. Then I went back in with some more. I used a lot of wash on this one. A lot of the wash. Went in between the lines without, with washing it out so you can see the separation from the loincloth and trying to make my shadows. While we're here at the chain part, McFarlane's The Demon. This is, let me back up a little bit. The Demon. We'll get to that. We have a diorama. I made a diorama as well. He's standing on a diorama. We'll get to that in a second. This is the lower portion of the Demon from the Multiverse. I used his knee pad, his armor pad, for his centerpiece here. As you can see, I used it. That was on his knee. So in the back of it, I glued the two ends that come out the bottom, and as you can see, I drilled a hole into the side of that. Hope this isn't looking blurry now. Into the side of the pad. So there, that's what I did with that. The chain, any chain I do, I went to Joann's and got a chain. This is a standard type chain for anybody, like a necklace. But in the back here, I just bring it together, Just an easy way to bring it together. It looks kind of droopy, but this was kind of a pain, to be honest. And the chain was very bright, so I went in with some of this black licorice, actually, from Folk Art, and painted it up a little bit, dry brushed it, air dried it, and then I went in with some red. As you can see, I used red from Model Air instead of this being brown. Just a standard red is all I did. Used a red, not brown of course, but red. I don't have it out with me now, but it's red, and you can see, if you can see on camera or not, that I hit the red on top of the armor in spots with a sponge to make it look like it was kind of rusted out, like right here. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, unfortunately, but you can see the red in certain spots very faintly. At least that was what I was trying to do, as you can see right there, like on either side there. So it does have red through it, like maybe on the back you can see some more of it. Let me see here, up on top the shoulder, and here on the back, you can see that sort of in the back. You can see it right here, the red through here, very faintly red. A little better in person, but you can see the red. So that was the idea. I just didn't want real clean armor, even though it kind of looks clean, and I was going for the comic book feel. I kind of accomplished that because I love the bright tones and the separation of the muscle with the, the pastels, but I also wanted to look a little damaged, but not much. And speaking of damage, before we get to the boots, oh, and yeah, this chain's done. Before we get to the boots, up here, I just recreated what was on the figure at first, and just went on the outside of all the damaged parts with, of course, gunmetal. The gunmetal. I went in and very faintly hit around the damaged spots, but up here on the shoulders, you can see, I used straight silver. Model Air silver on the shoulders. So now let's get to the boots. Down here on the boots, what I did was I went in with some just olive green from Model Air, painted them solid green, and then after I was done that, I went in with, again, leather brown for the straps. After I was done that, in the straps here, and it holds the holster for the knife, I went in and all I used again was dark tones and went in the cracks. As you can see, I just followed the pattern of the boot with just like 3 coats of dark tone wash from Army Painter. That's what I did with the feet. Now the knife, real simple, silver, again, gunmetal again, resorting back to gunmetal because it just worked for it. I don't know, I know. And with a black handle. Now up top here, let's just move right back up top real quick because I kind of like how this turned out. Now, this turned out pretty cool. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but there's his choice. The choice of weapon I used was a axe from one of the He-Mans. I hit it with I dry brushed it black with Createx. I dry brushed it black, real fun, 2 or 3 coats, real subtle soft coats. Then I went in, obviously, with some gunmetal and dry brushed it. Then after that, I went in with some Model Air silver, and I hit the silver parts, as you can see. You can see on the handle on the bottom, just like his bracelet here, his neck, his wristband, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Right here at the bottom is straight silver. Around the rim, this little rim is silver. The little dots on top of the axe is silver, and obviously the top is silver. And I also ran down the side of the axe with silver. Then I went in again with some more dark tones and filled in the damaged spots. Now same thing with the knife. This knife, while we're over here. And of course I turned into a nail salon because I did all his nails in black. And now this knife is from the Hush, Batman's The Hush figure. Now it's very dark, it's very bright. I can't talk. It's very bright down here, but I did use the straight silver. I used the Model Air straight silver around the edge of the knife, but I used, again, dark tone wash down the center of the knife. That way it gave it some separation. As you can see it right there. That probably looks more like in real life. Now while we're here, the this shield came with him. The shield came with him with the figure, and I used those Halloween 99-cent skeletons, and I just used one arm, no, a leg, two legs, cut them off, and then I cut the skull to fit. You know, I cut the skull in half because it was actual like a skull, so I cut it in half, and I super glued it onto the shield to make it, you know, pop out. And I didn't want to weather it. I wasn't going to leave the background as a black shield with no kind of damage, but I just thought to myself, I like it. It looks cartoony. I love the cartoony stuff, even though this is kind of menacing looking. I think the cartoony stuff is still where it's at for me. I love, you know, it took me quite some time to finish this thing because I was back and forth exactly. I'm gonna try to fix the camera. I was back and forth to what I was doing. Now down at the base, what I did with the base is I went in with some black cheap apple barrel. I hit the base. Well, first of all, it's foam, not 3D printed. It's foam. It's just foam for housing. It's this stuff right here, foam. So I went in with some black, like everybody does, which is the thing to do. And then after that, I mixed some black and white apple barrel to get my desired gray. But this time, instead of brushing, I brushed the black. After I made my gray, I airbrushed it. After I airbrushed the gray, I went in and all I did was got a wash. I used Folk Art Matte Licorice. I thinned it out 20% to 80% water, and I went in and I just hit all the recess spots where I thought it would be. You know, like I said, it's very bright down here right now. I went in and just washed it up, made it look like, attempt to make it look like it was water damaged somewhat, like it's been sitting there for a while. And then after that, I went in again and used some dark tone around the skull. Let me get up here a little bit. Let me take the thing off. I know it's kind of a pain to see the camera rattling all over the place, but here we go. So I went in with the wash around the skull in the back, around the rocks in the back, and around the back here, so it looks a little darker with the skulls. And the skulls were, let me show you before. Okay, we're back. So these are the skulls I got in a bag at the home store or Michael's. I know it wasn't Hobby Lobby. This is the skull. And all you have to do is a little bit of work, a little bit of wash, a little bit of brown wash, and just a little bit of, you know, shading around the thing. All with brush, no airbrush. It kind of turned out pretty cool. Same as the one on top. The one on top is a smaller version of this that I cut in half. And while we're here, the side here is, I've grabbed one of these too. It's one of these 99-cent skulls. The place is called At Home. Every Halloween they have them for $1. I buy 5 or 6 of them, and they come like this. Unfortunately, you have to multi-put the head if you want to make it full. But for this case, it was perfect. All I did was shave it about right there, shave it down, and I took the arms here. See the arms? I cut those in half, sanded them down, and made a crossbone. And I cut one in half so that the bone can fit through the other, if you know what I mean. So that was it. Now, this was a sort of a journey for me, this one here. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I like how it turned out. Outside of that, man, I think that's all. I don't have a whole lot of room to, let me spin them around. I think I covered everything. The top, I used the olive green and some dark wash for the top. And outside of that, man, there he is. I think I covered everything. So there you go. There's Pumpkin King, Pumpkin Head, Pumpkin whoever. But I'll probably do a real quick short on this one after I'm done, but I thought he turned out okay. So anyway, let me see if I can get a good close shot of him. There we are. Got the blade, got that. The diorama turned out really well, I think. Really cool. There it is. Pretty neat. Real quick, small little base, nothing real big to save room on your shelf. Don't have to make it real big. And to make him stick, all I did was get a shish kebab stick, put it in his foot, put it through the bottom, and super glued it to the bottom. Not his foot, but the stick through the foam. And that's all it is. There it is, there it is. Hopefully he can do the justice at the time I took in shading his arms and stuff. Well, it wasn't a whole lot of time, but anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. There he is. Until the next one.